Unpaid work, things like cooking, cleaning, and laundry. Most of us know the decades-old stereotype that conservative religious men don't help around the house. But a new study conducted by the University of Utah might have you rethinking those old stereotypes. Researchers Claudia Geist and Bethany Gull determined that religious men tackle household tasks at higher rates than non-religious progressive men.
Our initial hypothesis, or one of our hypotheses, was that we were going to find that men who identified as non-religious were going to be more involved in housework, because there's a lot of research already out there that says that men that hold gender equitable ideas and tend to be less religious tend to be more involved in the home. So what we found, though, was that when we broke down the tasks that men were reporting that they did, men who were attending weekly were doing more work and they were reporting more hours of housework. So that went against what we thought we were going to find, and we found that quite intriguing.
Gull highlighted some of the things they found in their research, drilling down into individual groups. They found that Catholic and Muslim men did less housework than non-religious men. Jewish men shared 3 of the 4 tasks more equally with their partners. And men who attended services weekly did more laundry and more hours of housework than those men who never went to church or synagogue at all. Among those not surprised is Rich Schaus from Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Coming from a Christian worldview, I see these women that are honored and they're elevated in great ways. And so I seek to serve my family any way possible, my wife being the key beneficiary, but my sons as well, and my daughter when she lived at home. So I want to serve them because they are higher than me. They're better than I am.
So Schaus starts dinner, he routinely does the dishes, he cares for the chickens they keep in the backyard, and he cleans up after himself. If he sees something that needs doing, he just does it. Among the religious leaders that I talk to, men of faith who do housework, is this rabbi.
I'm a student. I like to study. I like to learn new things. I'm a therapist, so I like to do the work that I'm doing. In theory, I'd rather maybe focus on some of those things than washing the dishes or folding the laundry or making dinner. But over time, I've come to realize that it's most important to be able to be flexible and to be present and to realize, to ask yourself the question, what does God want from me at that moment?
I'm very embarrassed to say that I think my husband does probably more chores than I do. We've always viewed the household, it's not about splitting it, but I've always said, I think the people that are good at certain things should do the things that they're good at. So I'm better at the organizing, the decluttering, the more one-off jobs, dealing with the kids' needs. He's better at cooking, so he'll do a lot more cooking because I'm not as good in the kitchen.
So then why do so many people assume that religious men don't do housework? Lori DeRose and her colleague Anna Barron, both from the Catholic University of America, came up with 2 possible explanations of why that might be. The first is a caricature of religious men as misogynistic, narcissistic, and controlling. The second is that many people simply don't understand that while egalitarianism places high expectations on husbands and fathers, so does faith. Jeffrey Breedwell and his wife divide their chores based on aptitudes, and it's an agreement they reached when they got married 11 years ago.
Ephesians 5 tells us to submit to one another in love. And with that, I'm showing my love for her by aiding her in the housework and not letting all that responsibility and all that manual labor delve onto her.
The interesting thing about men and women and housework is it's a subject of endless speculation for researchers and endless speculation between couples. But the truth is, it does matter to family harmony, and it does matter to how happy couples are. So guys, if you don't chip in on the housework, you might want to pick up a mop. The thing I think that surprised me most about this story is not that men of faith do housework. It is that it was so easy to find men of faith who said, yeah, I do housework.